The next guy up in our how they would fit on the Wizards draft series is Duke freshman Kon Knueppel. He's listed at 6'7". Again, kind of a theme here. The height is a little bit overrated, although Kon, if he is only like 6'5", he's a solidly built dude. Like the phrase "country strong" would seem appropriate, and that actually like sort of like was a huge factor in his game, honestly, and his success overall this season. I was really surprised getting to see him in person. I thought, all right, here's this freshman shooter from Duke. Like, how, physically developed is he going to be? He's not like the most explosive guy, but again, just a strong dude. You're not going to knock him off spots. The defense was a little questionable to me early in the season here. He did like a lot of hand checking and things like that just to keep his defenders in front of him. And that's not something they're going to call every possession at the college level, especially against the Duke team in Cameron, but they're going to call it in the NBA on a rookie. But got better, use that strength and positioning. If you're a smart offensive player, a lot of times that allows you to kind of know where to be defensively too. And I think that was really the case for Knueppel this season. Again, really solid offensive player here. He was a 40.6% three-point shooter on 5.5 attempts per game, 48% from the field, a 91.5% free throw shooter. So really going to be a guy that knocks down open shots at a minimum. But I thought he was like an underrated driver and just like, again, he kind of found ways to bump guys off their spots. And I used this comparison earlier in the year for a Bulls Forever article, but it's a little bit the way like Kawhi Leonard plays offense of just like, let me get to my spot, kind of move you off of it to create space that way, as opposed to using my like dynamic first step to do it. And then he'll just sort of like rise up over guys and use angles and positioning to get some of those easier looks. And I think this is a dude that's going to be really tough to guard offensively. Yeah, I see a lot of comparisons out there, and I've seen Izzy Kispert. Why would we draft Kispert top 10? Things like that. He's already a more versatile offensive player, and I think he'll compete better defensively too. Kispert, that's where he's really kind of underwhelmed me. He was good laterally in like pre-draft combine drills and things like that, but hasn't moved his feet. I think Knueppel will do that already and use that anticipation, like I said, and strength. The guy that makes sense to me is like Bojan Bogdanovic, sort of his prime. There was that stretch when he was in Indiana, playing for the Pacers, where he was maybe the guy that was guarding LeBron James as well as anyone in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs, just because he was big enough and physical enough to just kind of stay in front of him and offer a little bit of resistance. And then was like a sub 20 point per game scorer. But so if Khan's a 15 plus point per game scorer, knockdown shooter, and floor spacer, can actually drive and create some looks, and is going to be a solid ball mover. Knueppel averaged